What's interesting about the way that we see things is we do not see them the way that they are, but we see them the way that we are.
Our worldview is the lens through which we interpret the world around us.
I'm Kathy Jourdain. I live in Bedford, Nova Scotia. I have a small independent consulting company called Shape Shift Strategies.
My name is Jerry Nagel. I live in Northwest Minnesota. I am president of the Meadowlark Institute.
The concept of worldview was when Jerry Nagel and I first began to work together. And we were working together doing the Art of Hosting Conversations That Matter, which is a training that invites people into a different kind of space for conversation.
A lot of folks don't give much attention to this simple idea that how I see the world has a profound influence on how I act in the world.
Once we introduced the concept of worldview, people engaged in conversations differently, and I think I first noticed it around conversations of race, power, and privilege, where people were in that conversation from a totally different space than they typically would be.
Why is that person responding the way that they are? Why am I holding on to the view that I'm holding on to? We say that curiosity and judgment cannot exist in the same space. So when you find yourself becoming judgmental or defensive, that's a really good time to ask yourself why you're responding that way.
Another way to see the world that we very often don't do is our planet at night looks very different to us. What if this was on our screensaver all of the time? What if this was the poster on our wall, love your mother? Or what if this was the poster that said, holy smokes, there's a lot of energy consumption going on out there right now on our planet. We'd be seeing it differently. We might be thinking about interacting with it differently.
So our worldview influences the actions that we take, and it also influences the practices and the methods that we might choose. A little bit of a bridge there. The same way that our worldview influences our actions could reinforce our worldview.
How do you know what knowledge to trust and what's not? What's true and what's false? These are all parts of our worldview, things that we don't give much thought to, but very much influence how we interact with others.
The receptivity has been really good, no matter where we've gone, and I think that the impact has everything to do with what's the nature of the exploration that they want to be in.
The biggest evolution in our work around worldview is to develop a structured way to deconstruct worldviews.
So instead of trying to convince you that my worldview is the way of seeing things, now I'm wondering, well, what is your worldview and what influenced your worldview and how do you see the world?
What is the lens that you want to look through to interpret the world?